Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tablelands Regional Council Ordinary Meeting for May. Can I remind everyone to turn off their devices or to turn them onto silent, please? Do we have any apologies? No. Can I ask everyone to be upstanding, please? I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet on today and pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. While we're standing, we'll observe a minute's silence as a mark of respect for the members of our community who have recently passed. We wish their family and friends peace and comfort during this challenging time. Thank you. That brings us to item 6, councillors. Declarations of any material personal interests / conflicts of interest by councillors or senior officers. Councillor Barty?
Yeah, just relating to Peterson Creek walking track, that I am a member of Young Borough Land Care.
Councillor Hayden?
So I have a conflict of interest in the Merrill Minute that will be coming up. So in respect of the Merrill Minute, I have previously declared a conflict of interest in the Atolga Industrial Estate matter pursuant to the section 150EO of the Local Government Act on the basis that my husband's uncle and auntie Jack Raymond and Cheryl Fitzgerald own a property that may be affected by the proposed Merrill Minute. I will lead the meeting while the Merrill Minute is discussed and voted on.
Thanks, Councillor Hayden. Any other conflicts, councillors, officers? No? Very good. All right, that brings us to item 7, confirmation of the minutes. We'll go to the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the 24th of April. Could I have a mover that those minutes? Councillor Barty.
Yeah, I'm happy to move them, but I just wanted an
amendment. You want to make an amendment?
Yeah.
Yes, if you can point that out to us, that'd be good.
So in section 16.1, item number 4, I actually tabled 4 letters, but only 2 are recorded. So could I have that amended to record the
Correct that, Councillor Barty. Thank you.
You got that, Jackie?
Thank you.
All right, so Councillor Barty is moving with that amendment included. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Lang is seconding. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Matters arising from those minutes. That Peterson Creek walking track, that wasn't those minutes, was it?
Well, it
Yes.
was.
It was?
If I could just bring that up there.
Okay.
Just in relation to Peterson Creek walking track, since the last meeting we've been working on a business case to present to the state to assist with funding. We're using an economic consultant that's working on some other matters as well to support that. Angela is leading that process. We've sought some input from business in relation to activity so we can work out the economic benefits of that walking track to support our case to the state. Councillor Barty and I did meet with members of the Yungaburra community about private funding opportunities, you might call them crowdfunding, etc. But I think we should see how our applications to the state play out before we spend too much more time on that. I've asked the valuer to review the valuation in light of the area and the tenure now proposed for that part of lot 3 that we are seeking to acquire an interest in. And also I've had initial discussions again with the owners of lot 1, or the owner of lot 1, and his representative in relation to the walking track and some other matters that council needs to resolve. And we've made, through our solicitors, some representations to the Department of Resources in relation to some tenure matters more generally, which is not appropriate at this point to discuss without compromising outcomes that we're seeking to achieve there. So in short, we're continuing to work on it. I appreciate the concerns in the community about the amount of time it is taking, but it is acquiring interest in private land that is necessarily a drawn-out process.
Thanks very much. Councillor Barty?
Yeah, Gary, was there any news about getting temporary insurance over that section of the journey?
That matter's also being progressed through our solicitors, but at this stage, not optimistic that we can do that.
Oh, okay.
Is there any other business arising from the ordinary council meeting minutes of 24 April? Very good. We'll move on to the special meeting of the 2nd of May. Could I have a mover and seconder that that's a true and accurate record? Councillor Bilney is moving the meeting minutes of the 2nd of May. Councillor Barty is seconding. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Any business arising from those minutes? Oh, thank you. And one more lot of minutes. The special meeting of the 16th of May. Can I have a mover for those minutes be accepted as a true and accurate record? Councillor Spanos is moving those, and a seconder, Councillor Barty. Those in favour? Carried. And is there any are there any matters arising from those minutes?
It was Angela Toppin, wasn't it?
Yeah, from that, Councillor Toppin was successful in securing the position of the policy executive. Next matter for council to consider, which will table at the June meeting, is nominations for president. Very good. Apply your minds to that. Look through all the councils across Queensland and come up with someone with a lot of spare time before June.
Okay, councillors, that brings us along to item 10. Today, councillors, I'm introducing and moving this motion because it's my strong view that we need to reconsider the Tolga Industrial. Sorry, Councillor Hayden. Apologies. Had it written down and still missed it. Thanks, councillors. I'm introducing and moving this motion because it's my strong view that we need to reconsider the Tolga Industrial Estate expansion. I will make my arguments about why it's a critical decision point that will allow council to look to our future by preserving the type of place that we and others would like to live. So what I'll do, council, is I'll reserve my right to speak last. I'll let councillors speak first. So, Councillor Cardew, would you like to go first? Who would like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. To say I'm disappointed in this is an understatement. The previous council spent a lot of time and effort getting this to where it is at the present time. This has been going on for a couple of years now, and the business owners along that corridor have been very patient in my mind, and have had to endure, stretched out timelines through no fault of their own. I think council could have acted better in getting it to an outcome before this, but we are where we are, and to try and change this now in the next term of council, it's very disappointed. I think it's disrespectful to the decision of the previous council. I think we've come too far to just cut it off at the knees like this. I think it'll be reputational damage to this council no end, and I don't see how developers and members of our community can have confidence in this council if we're prepared to do things like this. I think it's not right. I don't think it's right at all. I think that we're at a stage now where all the management agreements have been drafted, ready to be sent out to the industrial estate owners. It all hinges on everybody being in agreement to the proposal, because if one of those property owners along that rail trail decide that they don't want to be in it for whatever reason, then the whole thing falls over anyway. So I think we should just be letting it play out. We've come too far to be just stopping it now. Everything's in place for the next step for these agreements to go out to these property owners, and this will tell whether they're fair income or not. And if they aren't, if every single one of them aren't, then it will be dead in the water, and the mayor would have achieved his outcome anyway. On the other hand, I think that we could be seen to set a precedence about what would be allowed in the rail trail, not only just in the Talga Industrial Estate area, but all the way from, that rail trail has the potential all the way from Cranda to Ravenside. It's only just kicking off, but the tourism opportunities in that corridor, all the way from Cranda to Ravenside, I believe, is horrendous. It's untapped. I think there's opportunities there for lots of little businesses along the way on that rail trail to make it very, very attractive and unique. To be able to open up a little business on there to complement the cycling, the rail, the locomotives, and all that sort of tourism initiatives. So I just can't understand why the mayor would want to do this, and I certainly won't be supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, who'd like to go next?
Go next if you like, Rod.
Councillor Spanner.
Rod, I'm a similar view. However, I'm certainly for the rail trail. I believe it's a perfect opportunity for us to do something really good for the community. The only thing that I'm disappointed at is we're a new council at the moment, and we're getting off on the wrong foot here. I think, as Kev's just said, we haven't given them the industrial estate people out there, the businesses out there, their agreements at all. This could play out, as Kev just said, someone may decide not to want to go ahead. Listen, I think, as Kev just said, it's untapped. We may be setting a precedent. However, I don't think we as new councillors at least, I don't think we've had enough time to channel all of this. We haven't had a chance to speak with the people out at the industrial estate. I've spoken to 2 people out there. From the Rail Trail Committee, I've heard from nobody. I mean, I've been in council for 2 months now. Nobody has reached out to say to me, great, I hope you're going to continue with the rail trail. I was excited about it, and I hadn't heard from the businesses either, but I did get some letters, and I spoke with a couple of the people that own businesses out there. And they've got fors and against as well, and I don't think they don't want to stop the rail trail. I just feel there's an opportunity here to let this just play out, as Kev just said. There's an opportunity. I haven't had enough time to meet any of the rail trail people previous to the election. Of course, a few approached me. However, you know, I'd like to be fair with both the businesses out at the industrial estate and the people who are interested in the rail trail. I'd like to be fair with both of them, and I think I need more time. I really do believe that. That's what I said to you last night, Rod. I really do feel a little bit more time would be a good thing. It's been dragging on for over 5 years now. You know, a few more weeks, what's that going to do? Anyway, that's what I think. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Councillor Spouse. Councillors? Councillor Billings?
Yeah, through the chair. Look, at the very commencement of these discussions some time ago, I strongly voiced my concerns and opposition to any potential expansion into the Tolga Industrial Estate Rail Trail. My position then and my position now has not changed, and I will be supporting the Merrill Minute, that no further action be taken. I hold a strong view that there is no community benefit whatsoever in continuing on with the expansion into community benefit lands. I do agree with Councillor Cardew and Councillor Spanos, beg pardon, about exposing the true potential of the rail trail. I think that's a given, and we'll work towards that. But I see the costs of this to potentially go nowhere continue to spiral. I think it needs to be ceased, and we can all move on. That's my view.
Thanks, Councillor Billings. Who would like to go next?
Hello.
Councillor Lang?
Yep, so I totally agree with everybody in this room. I'm going to place my vote as if I have just come in. This is a brand new thing they brought to me. And to me, that I just see it as a bit of a waste of money, community money, having to relocate infrastructure unnecessarily. There's inconsistencies in everything I've been given, so to me, I think it just needs to stop.
Thanks, Councillor Lang. Councillor Barty?
And again, I've heard everything everyone said, and I agree with their sentiments, and I hope that communication about issues like this can improve. I feel like there hasn't been a lot of talk between TIE and the rail trail people, and that should have happened earlier on. So that's sort of what I'd like to take away from this.
Well, I might say a few words if no one else, or if everyone's had their say. I appreciate this is a hard decision, especially for new councillors. It's a really hard decision. Unfortunately, that's what local government is, and in 6 months' time, this will be a distant memory because so many other decisions will come along. But look, it's a critically important one for the future of the Tablelands. Rail trails are booming throughout Queensland and Australia, as they've done in New Zealand and other parts of the world. Our rail trail is in its infancy, but we should not discount just what such a living amenity asset can deliver. In a few short years, it will be much busier than it is now, especially the section that connects Atherton to Tolga. Whether it's used for exercising, commuting, walking the dogs, for group social opportunities, it's steadily unfolding. I appreciate and understand how business owners of industrial land would like to expand their enterprises. The primary decision for councillors to make is around this. If industrial holdings spread into and consume half the rail trail, what is the quid pro quo for community? What does the community get? Now, the expansion itself, relocating infrastructure like the sewerage main, reforming the rail trail itself, culverts under the rail trail, reforming and aligning drains, just some examples, are substantial undertakings that will cost ratepayers a significant amount. Even though it was always promoted it would be done at little or no cost to council, the costs have been accruing. I return, councillors, to my primary question. What's in it for the wider community? Can I say that it's often the case that council has to deliberate on a decision between option A and option B, will both have similar community benefits. This is clearly not one of those cases. Expansion of the industrial land into the rail trail has no community payoff. The rail trail gets pushed aside to allow for expansion of industrial land. I reiterate, in other parts of our country, rail trails are taking off. And just down the road at Priors Creek, Council is developing that rail corridor site to be a very significant community living amenity asset. Yet here we are, a few kilometres to the north on the same rail trail, we're facilitating the transfer of public, state-owned recreational land to private hands and rezoning the land of the former rail trail to industrial. We really need to take stock with that decision. Finally, councillors, this motion today is not about diminishing industry. I know every councillor fully respects the owners of our industrial land, but we need to take this opportunity to preserve and value the rail trail for what it is and for what it can become, not only for us, but for everyone who visits our region. So that's it, councillors. So I've got the motion up there that I've moved. Those in favour of the motion that's on the screen. Carried. Thank you.
Recorded, please.
Thanks, Tamara.
That's not correct.
Oh, sorry. Vote for it? Sorry.
It may have seemed that way. However, it didn't go that way.
This is the new councillor bill.
I think we really needed more time on this, guys.
Yeah, that's it, 5-1, Jackie. Thank you. Okay, councillors, that brings us to 11.1. 11.1, Inspector General Emergency Management IGEM 2023-2024 Severe Weather Season Review. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Hayden. And a seconder? Councillor Lamb. Councillor Hayden.
I couldn't be more pleased about a review. It has been a long time coming, and I applaud the Office of the Inspector General Emergency Management for implementing the review and making sure the community is heard. Finally, TRC will liaise directly with residents, businesses and community groups that were affected to engage them in the review process to encourage those who want to make a submission. It is home when you sit with grown men crying as a tower of flames head towards their home, not knowing if they will have a home to go back to. Then the floods came and the fires are forgotten. Clean up can't begin because the ground is too soft for machinery. The government promising the world, delivering naught. So I encourage the community to contribute to the review.
Thanks, Councillor Hayden. Anyone else like to talk to this one? Councillor Lang.
So in my role, obviously, as a volunteer for emergency services, it is crucial that people do these reviews, because if we don't know there's an issue, we can't fix it. So this is the community's chance to say what they've seen, what they feel, what they want, and get it done.
Thank you. Councillor Tarju.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Look, I welcome this review also, especially with recovery and assistance. I think we've got to a stage where bureaucracy is getting in the road of helping people in need when disasters occur. I think people on the ground who are affected by these natural disasters need help immediately, not 2 weeks later, not a month later. They need help now, and bureaucracy has got to a stage now where these people aren't getting the help when they need it. So I really, really welcome this, and I really, really support what Councillor Hayden said, and encourage those people who have been affected by the last 2 disasters, come forward and please make your points known, because unless we get back to the government sector here, nothing will change. We need to be strong. We need to get the information, and then once we've got that information, this council needs to advocate to the state what these views are, and we need to do that in a strong manner. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Cardew. Councillors, anyone else like to talk to this one? Those in favour? Carried. Infrastructure and Planning Services, 12.1, TRC 2023-21, Uten Road, widen and seal, stage 2. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Hayden, Councillor Bilney, seconding. Councillor Hayden.
Yeah, so I'm so pleased this is going to happen. So this will finish the last 4 kilometres in the TRC region, and the contractor who's going to be awarded the delivery of Uten Road, the widen and seal in stage 2, also was awarded stage 1 and did an excellent job. So.
Very good, thank you. Councillors, any more questions or comments on this one? All good. Thank you. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Item 12.2, disposal of building next to Meals on Wheels, Atherton. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Spanos is moving and Councillor Barty is seconding. Councillor Spanos?
I believe it's past its use by date. We need some more space there for Meals on Wheels, and that's looking to go ahead. And I've been approached by Meals on Wheels through the Lions Club, which was one of our projects, and I believe this is a good thing. The building that's being removed, of course, is, as I said, past its use by date, and something that is not being used currently and can't be used. So I think this is a fair thing, and we need space for Meals on Wheels. That's me, thanks.
Thanks, Councillor Spanos. Councillors, anyone else like to talk to this one? Councillor Cardew?
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, look, I support this. I think we need to move ahead and do what we need to do to help the Meals on Wheels as well. But I received an email from a constituent during the week. He's a bit of a historian, and just for the record, in the report it says that the building is believed to be a Tinaree house that was relocated from the dam. Information I just wanted to share with you. The information I got was it was the old school from Cairns, on Cairns Road. It was an old school relocated by the junior farmers. Just bringing that up with a bit of information. Thank you.
Perhaps just pass that through to one of the officers and they'll get it.
Thank you. I attended the Eacham Historical Society and they said the same thing.
We'll make a note
Yeah, I
in the
received an
minutes so
email
that
as well. It wasn't something that was that important to our community. If it had been, I would be concerned about it.
we will make a note in the minutes that doesn't have to be dot 43. Just we'll sort out the formatting.
Okay.
Yeah, look, I think this is a really great thing. We're getting rid of an old building that's no longer fit for purpose for much at all, and it looks like Meals on Wheels will do an expansion, which is great for the community because they provide such an important service. So it's a great outcome. Anyone else like to talk to this one? Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Item 12.3, TRC 2024-10, provision of management services, Malanda Falls Caravan Park. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Billman. Seconder, please. Councillor Barty. Councillor Billman.
Through the chair. Look, this is good that we've come to a point where we're actually got a way forward. There's a couple of things within the report that I just want to clarify, if I can. First thing, historically, we've had caretaker arrangements in place. We're moving to a management agreement. Can you just explain what the main differences of those two type arrangements are, Shane, please?
Yep. Thank you, Councillor. Through the chair, so the contract improvements come with a longer term for the managers. So the first initial year with an additional 3 years at council's discretion. Through the tender process, one of the submissions and the weighted criteria was the marketing plan. That will then form the basis of quarterly reports moving forward. We've also included asset maintenance and condition reports that will get quarterly reports on, which will help inform council and ourselves on making recommendations for renewals and upgrades to the park. We also encourage tenders to submit alternate commission models, incentive packages for opportunities for TRC and themselves. And the managers will now review the annual fee and provide them as a recommendation to council for deliberation and approval.
Shane, does that mean those managers will have a bit more of a say on the day-to-day running of those operations as far as price setting, for example, those sort of things, or? Yep.
Yep, through the chair, that's correct.
Yep. Yep. The other thing that I just want to clarify, in the report it states that it's for an initial 12 months, yep, with option to extend for 3 additional years at council's discretion. Is there any negotiation from the managers as to what they want within that, or is it solely council's decision?
Through the chair, so we always approach the contractor prior to that recommendation, and then it comes back to council for approval. Yeah. Yep. So if they decided after a year that they would not like to do that service, we'd go back to.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, I've only got one last final comment to make. And I see Janine's in the arena. I'd just like to publicly thank Rob, Janine and the family for their long association with council and the Caravan Park. They've done a wonderful job over 9 years, and I wish them every success in the future.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Councillor Bilney. Councillors, Councillor Cardew.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Look, I won't be supporting this. I don't mind the management agreement being extended for another 12 months, but then for another 3 years after that. I mean, Councillor Bilney was concerned about the cost of the rail trail extension was going to cost us. This here, that's a drop in the ocean compared to what money in the Caravan Park has cost this council over the years. And it's not going to get any cheaper going forward. We've had a CT review done, asking why we're involved in caravan parks. We own a couple of them. So in my mind, we should be really looking hard at what we're going to do with these caravan parks, not only the Molina one, but the Tinneborough one as well. So if we're going for a 4-year option, in my mind is ludicrous. So I won't be supporting it. But I do acknowledge Councillor Bilney's comments about the previous managers. I think they've done an exceptional job out there with what they've had to work with. So not taking that away from them, but you know, we're getting failing assets everywhere. You know, another circumstance in the land at the moment that traffic needs to be involved. You know, we got to start looking hard about our aging assets and how we're going to manage them. And take notice of the money that we've paid to consultants for these reports that we get, and start listening to their advice. So I won't be supporting it.
Thanks, Councillor Cardew. Councillor Bilney.
Yeah, through the chair, just a couple of comments I want to make. If you don't have a longer term, as in 4 years, where's the security and tenure for the managers? They need to know where they're heading forwards. If it's a 12-month thing every time, there's so much uncertainty. I think the former caretakers have been placed in that situation the last 3 or 4 years, so they know what that uncertainty feels like. The other thing that I would like to think that council would consider is putting a bit of investment back into that park down the track. And that's my view.
Just so the term is framed against the resolutions that are in place by council, which is that the site is to remain as a caravan park. And we seek to then obviously to minimise the cost through that, councillor Cardew. I'd have to look back, but if my memory serves me correctly, that motion went through unanimously. I may be.
Councillor Cardew?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, and I was one of the ones that voted for that, but never say never. I mean, the only reason I voted for that was that I wanted to, we were coming to the end of the last term, we needed to have some provision in place to keep the thing going. So, you know, and that was up to 6 months up to June this year. So I voted for that, but never is never for me. And, you know, we can change things. You know, we keep getting told by officers that you can, you know, change things around this table any given time. So never for never doesn't wash it for me.
So merely explaining the background to the team.
So councillors, final call on 12.3. Anyone else like to talk to this one? Those in favour of the officer's recommendation? Carried.
Yes, please.
That brings us to item 12.4, request for additional water usage concession, 23 Dan Buller Crescent, Atherton. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Cardew. And seconder, Councillor Hayden. Councillor Cardew.
No, thanks, Mayor. I'm happy with the officer's recommendation.
Councillors, anyone else like to talk to this one? No? Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Thank you. That brings us to 12.5, Reef Guardian Council's Memorandum of Understanding and Representation. Can I have a mover of the officer's report? Councillor Bilney. Seconder, please. Councillor Barty. Councillor Bilney.
Through the chair, maybe I'd like to get Christine, if you can just give us a bit of a rounder of what this means as far as the association with the Reef Guardian Councils.
Thanks, Christine.
So the Tablelands Regional Council has been part of the Reef Guardian Councils for a few years now. Was it 9 years? Can you confirm that, Councillor Bilney? Was it 9 years we have been part of the Reef?
I think that's yes.
Yeah, and this is the first time we actually have funding to help us achieve some of our reef action plans, but the reef action plans have been developed as a whole for the Reef Guardian Council. So there's, I'm forgetting numbers now, is it 9 different councils?
That's correct.
I've got 9 in my head now. As part of the Reef Guardian Councils, and as a whole, of course, it's a more coordinated approach to create actions for improvements for the reef, so water quality improvements and so on. Like I said, so far it's been a lot of reef action plans have been created, reef actions that were always dependent on funding. Now we actually have funding through the Reef Guardian Council's program, which is great, so we can actually achieve hopefully great outcomes as part of this. But so far it's been a more or less informal partnership, and this MOU is trying to make it a little bit more formal.
Thanks.
Thank you. Councillors? Councillor Bilney?
Yeah, so I would actually like to nominate Councillor Barty for this position. And one of the officers, either the Natural Assets Manager or coordinator.
Can I just add to
Yep.
that? With those nominations so far, we had a couple of representatives on the executive committee, which previously has been Councillor Bilney and Tudor Tanasi as the manager for environment. And then the officers in the working group have been nominated as, again, Tudor Tanasi and myself. To have Tudor Tanasi in both the executive and the working group is worked out well because there's then that overlap and the direct communication. That is acceptable, but of course the council can also decide to have 2 councillors in the executive committee.
Councillor Barty, would you be willing to take that on?
Yeah, thanks, Rob. I would. I've spoken with Christine and I've read through the projects and I think they fit well with my role with NEMAC and the Agriculture Committee. So yeah, if nobody else wants to.
Any other councillors have an interest in this one? Very good. All right, so we've got a mover and a seconder, and we've got Councillor Barty there as the elected person. Final call, councillors? Those in favour? Carried. .6, Wet Tropics Waterways Partnership Management Committee representation. Have a mover of the officer's recommendation. Councillor Barty. Seconder, Councillor Bilney. Councillor Barty.
Look, I'm happy to nominate for this role as well if nobody else is interested. I think it fits well with the Reef Guardian role and again with my role with NEMAC and the Agriculture Advisory Committee. So I'm happy to.
Yeah, so Councillor Barty's putting her hand up for this one also. Do we have any other councillors that have an interest? Councillor Bilney.
Through the chair. Yeah, look, I support Councillor Barty's nomination. I forgot to say in the last item, happy to act as a proxy in the absence of Councillor Barty on both if that's required.
Yeah. Do we need to formalise a proxy on these, CEO?
Yeah, potentially, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
If you think that you could give a delegation to yourself or me to appoint a councillor in the event that the nominated councillor is not able to attend. The difficulty with one proxy is if we've got 2 people at the same time that can't then attend, that way we've still got no one, so we could just have a delegation to yourself, Mr. Mayor, to appoint a councillor in the event that councillor's nominated, or councillor is unable to attend.
Okay, so we sounds like we might need a slightly separate wording there, Jackie. Yeah.
Delegate to the mayor power to appoint a management committee member in the event that council's nominated representative is unable to attend the meeting.
Councillors, so we're happy with those. We've got a couple of, we've got Councillor Barty and we've also got the power of the mayor to appoint a stand-in person. Everyone okay with that? Councillor Barty and Councillor Bilney, happy with those amendments? Yep. Okay, those in favour? Carried. Now, we haven't got that same provision for the Reef Guardian. Do you suggest we revisit that? Can we revisit that?
Can do that under business without notice. Now that we've moved on from that, Mr. Mayor, at the conclusion of the meeting under business without notice, we can do it then.
Sounds good.
Move back to an item that's been concluded.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. We'll do that then. 12.7, Eacham Place Park Reserve conversion. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? The officer's recommendation. Councillor Bilney. And Councillor Vardy. Councillor Bilney.
Yeah, through the chair. Look, the report that comes via email was just the next step of what we had come to council a few months ago. So, yeah, I support the conversion.
Very good. Yeah, it looks like this is long overdue, this one. It's been
Yeah.
sitting there forever. Anyone else like to talk to this one? Those in favour? Carried, thank you. That brings us to Community and Corporate Services, 13.1, Financial Report, April 2024. Do we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillors, someone move? Councillor Vardy? Councillor Hayden? Thank you. Councillor Vardy did.
No, I accept the officer's recommendation.
Yeah, okay. Councillor Hayden?
So can I ask a question on the non-local suppliers, please? On page 3 or 4. First off is third one down, Kilgara Township rates legal fees. Is there a township out there now?
If I may, through the chair.
Sorry, what page was that, Councillor Hayden?
I don't know, it's just 3 or 4 on the locals, not non-local suppliers. So 170, 171. 171.
Thank you.
So through the chair, what we've got is some properties out there that have existed for many, many years when there was structures on there, and at some time ago the township was demolished to allow dredging to go through, mining dredging to go through. We still have a number of parcels that are still freehold that have a land valuation that are being rated with no owners around for a long time. So we're working with a legal team to help either to solve that. So either look at options of whether the state can take those properties back and remove that from freehold and return it to state. It's surrounded by state reserve title land, but I do have about 5 properties out there which hold a valuation. I have to issue rate notices. They get returned because the owners have long since passed. It's just one of those ways to be tidied up.
One more question. Yep. On the same page. Supply of tennis nets and external winding. What tennis court were they supplied for? Do you know?
I'll need to take that one on notice. Sorry, I'll
Okay. Sorry, should have asked that. No, sorry.
No, that's all right. I'll take
I
that
don't
on
know
notice.
the tennis net. I'm just wondering, it better not be that. I'll go and get it back. Okay.
Any more questions for Erica? Those in favour? Carried, thank you. That brings us to 13.2, land valuations. Can we have a mover? Councillor Cardew and seconder. Councillor Lang. Councillor Cardew.
I'm happy with the officer's recommendation. Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you. Anyone else like to talk to this one? Those in favour? Carried, thank you. 13.3, revenue policy. Can we have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Cardew and Councillor Hayden. Councillor Cardew.
I'm also happy with this one. Very short. I think everyone's happy with it.
Anyone else like to talk to this one? Those in favour? Carried, thank you. (13.4) 2024-2025 fees and charges. Do we have a mover? Councillor Cardew and Councillor Bilney. Councillor Cardew.
Same again, we've all been through it, I think we're all happy with that.
Thank you. Final call? Those in favour? Carried, thank you. Uh, 13.5, councillor remuneration, increase 1 July 2024. The mover, councillor Cardew and councillor Spanos. Councillor Cardew?
Happy to accept the officer's recommendations. This is everybody in the state, maybe change what the state promised, so happy to go on.
Final call, councillors. Those in favour? Carried. (13.6) Councillor remuneration, expenses reimbursement and resources policy. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bilney and Councillor Barty. Councillor Bilney.
Nothing further to add on this one, Mayor.
Thank you. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. That brings us to business without notice. We might go back and revisit the Lead Guardian Council one, which is 12.5. How do we go about that, Mr. CEO?
Just the same kind of delegation to yourself, Mr. Mayor, precisely as we did for 12.6. As a representative, should council's nominated representative be unable to attend, and same delegation to me to appoint an officer if the council officer is unable to attend.
Very good. Is that it, Jackie?
Is that okay?
The council delegate power to appoint. Yeah, that looks good. So can we have a mover of that one? So council,
just plus a delegation to me to appoint an alternative council officer. So just reference the same.
Oh, so when
Just make it
another dot.
one. Council delegate, CEO, appoint an alternative officer, council officer is on it.
Power to appoint.
Power to appoint
Yeah,
Just to appoint
a
an
officer.
alternative, yeah, alternative officer, council, the management environment, or council nominated officer is on it.
Thanks, Jackie. So we had, yeah, Councillor Vardy. Councillor Vardy was happy to move that.
Yeah.
We have a seconder, Councillor Spanos, seconding. Those in favour? Carried, thank you.
Oh, these two here.
Any more business without notice, councillors? Councillor Cardew?
Thanks, Mayor. Just asked, is there an opportunity for corporate wear for councillors?
We can take that offline, can we, or do you need a
And I
resolution?
just need to check what's in the
Need a resolution.
how it interacts with the policy that we just adopted for reimbursement of expenses and so forth. Anything that we spend on that may be considered a benefit council, we have to make sure that it's reflected in the policy. So happy for you to move that we consider provision of corporate, or provide a further report in relation to provision of corporate clothing for councillors, just just want to make sure that it stays tidy from a legal point of view, that it is properly reflected in that remuneration policy, and that we don't get representations that we're giving you things you're not entitled to under that policy. It does need to be clear.
I'll move that.
It may be covered in there, Councillor, I just haven't applied my mind to it.
I know we haven't in the past had to do a report, but that's what, right?
So, that may be a cautious approach, Councillor, but it should be reflected, in my view, in that policy. If we have not done that in the past, that's, it is what it is, but it should be reflected in that policy.
Councillor Carter, are you happy with that?
You just want to add in there, in the event that it's not covered in the policy that we just talked about, so you don't have to bring a report back or nothing? Up to you, Gary.
I think we'll just bring it back next meeting, Councillor Cody, just keep it tidy, that way.
Yeah,
So I can't read the whole policy right now and see if it's reflected there, so we'll just bring it back regardless. If it's covered, then we'll say it's covered.
Happy with that?
Second
Ann?
that?
Seconded for this one, Councillor Lang, seconding. Those in favour? Carried, thank you. Business without notice, councillors, final call. That brings us to our confidential section, councillors. Can we have a mover to go into confidential? Councillor Barty's moving and Councillor Pilney is seconding. We'll just get that motion go up on the screen. Oh. So we don't put the confidential motion up, Jackie, we just vote on moving into confidential, is that right?
Yes, that's,
Yeah, okay.
We just put the reason for it on the screen.
We strictly, is it strictly necessary to close the meeting to consider that? Oh. Yeah, I understand that.
We're done.
I get that.
Yeah.
We're still open to council too.
Okay. Cool, guys. Enjoy your new salaries. Everybody else is suffering, but you'll be all right.
So we've got a mover and seconder to go, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had a mover and seconder to go into confidential. Those in favour? Carry. All good?
Yeah.
Thanks very much, everyone. Item 16.1, concession on utility charges, Atherton Junior Rugby League. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation? Councillor Lang moving, Councillor Cardew seconding. Those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Thanks very much, councillors. There being no further business,